So I was having fun playing tabs the other day, but I was getting my butt handed to me by One Punch Man. It was a little bit frustrating, so I had an idea. I tried to use the powerful gods of tabs to beat him up, but clearly that didn't work. I was at my wit's end until I had an even better idea. So check this out. So I went to the workshop and I looked for gods created by you guys, and I managed to find quite a few. So the first god I checked out was this guy called the Celestial of Fate, and I liked him because he looked kind of like made of chrome and he had glowing parts to his body. So I thought that maybe the Celestial Fate could stand a chance against Saitama. Oh. And then those crazy attacks went off. But for some reason, Saitama was getting hit by the daggers and he was shaking them off. I like how the one sword is clearly through his skull, but Saitama doesn't even care. Honestly, where do these weapons come from? Not that the question mattered, because Saitama used a serious punch, sending our Celestial of Fate to his death. I thought I had a winner, but I had a big problem, so I looked to the next unit. The next unit, which was a floating head in the sky. I thought maybe this was gonna work. Maybe he had some really powerful abilities, but I don't think Saitama was too concerned. The fight started and I waited to see what the giant head could do. One Punch Man tried to use his serious punch. The guy dodged it, but in the end, a normal punch took our head and sent it to the moon. Well, it would have gone to the moon if time didn't stop with the victory. And again, I don't see a moon in the sky anywhere. So I was getting annoyed, and I summoned another god created by you, but this time, instead of a floating head, it was a giant floating sword. I mean, sure, there's a little tiny person in there, but ignore him, he's not real. It really was a giant floating sword to fight Saitama. Do you think Saitama cared? Nah, he just yawned. But Chance, the floating sword that teleported behind Saitama, had a chance against the One Punch Man. A floating sword that was giving off some strange energy and took a serious punch right to the face. One Punch Man. Oh no. No, guys. We have a duplicating sword problem. As Saitama's consecutive normal punches sent all the duplicates flying in different directions. This was one of the only units to even get close to defeating the One Punch Man. I was feeling defeated, but believe me, I wasn't done yet. So I grabbed the next unit that I had downloaded. He was called the Headless Horseman, and he's aptly named so, even though he didn't have a horse. He didn't look very strong, but I wanted to at least give him one chance against Saitama, who leapt into battle and swiftly defeated the Headless Horseman. Maybe if he had a horse, he could have rode away, but we all know Saitama's too fast. So I grabbed my next unit, a powerful unit. He was a god amongst gods. His name was the Darkest Light Peasant, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but we're not going to talk about that. Saitama was obviously quaking in his boots. I'm kidding. Saitama didn't even care, as the Darkest Light Peasant rapidly blinked around the map. All that blinking did absolutely nothing. The Darkest Light Peasant was actually more of a real peasant. So I was beginning to get discouraged. Was there anything strong enough to beat One Punch Man? Was there anybody in the world strong enough to beat Saitama? I thought maybe, just maybe, we had a chance. So I grabbed my next unit. His name was the Fire Cyclops, and he looked intimidating. Massive suit of armor. Probably only one eye, though you can't see his face. Hold on, if I squeeze in here. Hello, Mr. Cyclops. Are you in fact a Cyclops? Yep, there it is. There's his one eye. Found it. I thought maybe the Fire Cyclops could stand a chance against Saitama, who uses powerful ranged attacks. But the One Punch Man did not care about ranged attacks. He didn't care about rockets. He didn't care about anything. Just a simple gust of air, and the Fire Cyclops was wrecked. I had encountered a massive problem, but I wasn't done yet. I knew the One Punch Man could be defeated. I just needed to find the right god. So I tried the Frost King, a three-headed, two-sworded monstrosity. I thought maybe this guy could stand a chance against One Punch Man using his super peasant punch powers, and an epic fight ensued. The first time ever something came close to beating One Punch Man. But in the end, like every other unit, he was destroyed, with his leg going over here, his hip bone over here, his rib cage over here, his triple heads up here, and his arm, his leg, and his foot in many different pieces. I wasn't done. I wasn't ready to give up. I had more ideas. So I put Saitama down in the Renaissance map, and I grabbed a unit weirdly described as Christmas Blackheart. He looked like a bundle of Christmas joy, but in his eyes you could see his black heart. Not to mention all of the swords stabbed through his chest. This guy has been punctured 37 times. Will this pain bring him good fortune as he teleports behind Saitama? Will the One Punch Man unleash a massive punch, destroying the Christmas god? Even after all of this, I had one final idea, one hope that could pull this off. I brought Saitama to the wide open map, so there was nowhere to hide. I summoned onto the battlefield one of every god that we had tried to use today. And as always, Saitama didn't seem to be afraid. The fight commenced, and some of the units teleported on One Punch Man. The chaos was everywhere. The ice spells, the explosions. There was so much mayhem. And when I looked around, I honestly didn't know where the One Punch Man went. I surveyed the battlefield, looking through all the carnage. I couldn't find Saitama. There he was, zooming through the map, not a care in the world, using consecutive normal punches. And with this absolute power, one by one, these gods fell to their ruin. And as you can see, the Fire Cyclops could unleash an absolute fury of attacks. But none of that mattered. The One Punch Man ignored everything. You could hit Saitama with 37 rockets to the chest and he will just shake it off. The One Punch Man zoomed himself around the map and one by one defeated every single god that you could possibly throw at him. And in the end, he does a little dance, just a happy dance, because Saitama is the strongest creature in all the world.